We present to you the top 10 storylines for the Cubs entering spring training. It's here.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. We are your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The winter games are on, and there's no better way to follow them than with a bet on FanDuel. FanDuel, play your game. Opening day, March 26th, first spring training game, February 20th, first full squad workout in about a week, February 16th, and pitchers and catchers report to Sloan Park in Mesa this Wednesday. I'm sure Jed Hoyer will speak this week, Craig Counsell, and Sam. Today we're going to go over the top 10 storylines for our favorite team entering spring training. The off season, if it's not over as of this moment as we record, we're only a few hours away.
Yeah, I think I've always looked at the off season like the second the football game is over, the second Super Bowl is over. It's like, okay, and unfortunately, it's been a while since the Bears have been in it, so you're not really super invested in it. Okay, great. Let's take in the post game. Let's enjoy it. And then that Monday morning is baseball season.
Absolutely. And I only really have one off-season-ish item drafted on the top 10 storylines entering spring training. This is going to be an exciting spring. Even if there's not that many roster battles, it'll be good to see everybody back in uniform and getting ready for the season. Season after the Cubs won 92 games and made the playoffs first time in a while, won a postseason series for the first time in a while. So paired that with the veteran roster, young talent, and some really positive additions. It's exciting. And so the 10th item I have on the list as we go 10-1 is really the only transaction-ish thing I have. And it's a Nico Hoerner extension. If there's any player that's up on the dartboard right now between now and March 26th, I think it's an outside shot for like a Pete, but really it's Nico, Sam.
Yeah, I think that's a good number 10. I would love to see it happen. I think he's because it is weird. I mean, we've said this many times on this show. It is a little bit weird going into a year. I want some guys, Hap, Nico, Seiya, Tayo, and Boyd. I'd like for a little bit of security because I'll say it. My biggest fear of this season is that the Cubs are middling around the trade deadline. And if that's the case, you know how Jed operates. He doesn't do what's best for the fans in terms of like PR. He does what's best for business, long term. If the Cubs are, maybe 2-3 games over, but, he gets a good deal for a Hap or a Hoerner, and those guys are going to be free agents, especially Nico, because if you look at the free agent class, he's shaping up to be one of the better free agents, if not like the top guy.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'd love to get some of those guys wrapped up or a couple of them. I just don't like having that many guys in their walk year heading into a win now campaign.
Yeah, it's for position players next offseason. It's a weak class. There's no other way to put it. Pitchers better, highlighted by Tarek Skubal, of course. But I think there's an outside shot here, 4 or 5 years, $80+ million. I think that's what gets it done. And if they want to line up basically the 4 same infielders for the next 4 or 5 years, they could do that. If if they want to meet Nico's price with Bregman, Swanson, Hoerner, Bush, third to first. So, a lot of good resumes there, a lot of gold around both sides of the ball, really good players. So it's a cool opportunity if they want to take it. And we'll have to keep tabs on that. I think Nico's extension in 23, if my memory serves, was only hours before opening day. So maybe that happens again.
Is that right?
Yeah, because then Hap was a few days in to the year.
That I remember.
Yeah. All right, moving over more into the baseball part of it now, but this is the last one that's kind of, again, skirting on the periphery.
Wow, what a phrase.
World Baseball Classic dilemma.
I love that you brought this up.
It's cool that guys are playing, but Sam, the Cubs have 8 of their main guys playing.
My dad and I were talking on the phone last night after what I thought was a poorly officiated Illinois loss in East Lansing. And he asked me to ask you what you think on the air and if you have any concern about this many guys in the WBC, because his concern levels were moderately high.
Well, I have a concern in general, regardless of the number of participants. I'm just counting down the days till it's over.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't think I'm going to watch much. I think I'm just going to pretty much, hold my breath, cross my fingers. As long as everybody gets out healthy, I don't care. Like, I don't care if Boyd gets smoked.
Right.
I don't care if Tyone throws a perfect game. Like, either extreme. Like, I don't care. When the U.S. plays, I'll probably tune in. Like, especially if Skeens or Skubal is starting.
I like to see Pete play. I think it's kind of ridiculous that Buxton's going to play ahead of him, but I'll leave that.
Well, hopefully he doesn't, right? Against righties, at least. But yeah, the dilemma is, okay, we want to keep everybody healthy despite it being a cool opportunity for all the athletes. But it cuts into spring training. You can make that argument as well. Maybe you could make a chemistry argument, although I don't think that's going to be a problem with the Cubs. But yeah, you hope there's no issues that come out of it.
I only have concern for the pitchers. Like, okay. I mean, baseball players, third baseman, things like that, you got to play. And my take is, like, hopefully it does it. But if there's like an oblique thing with an offensive player,
right,
that probably was going to happen then in spring training anyway.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like, if you can't swing the bat, you can't swing the bat. But the innings with the pitchers, Boyd, if Boyd's going to put on, let's say, what is he going to throw? Maybe 10 extra innings now or whatever it is. That's the only thing I could see. But I think it's important for the sport, and I think it's a good activity, and I'm all right with it.
And so your concern would be health, but also a little bit of performance lens as well.
I don't care about the performance. No.
Okay.
No, mine's only health. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of health, number 8 on the list, Justin Steele progression.
Yeah, this is higher for me.
This dude is thrown off a mound, and yet he's likely going to be eligible to pitch at the earliest May 26th. Because, Sam, my guess is this week they put him on the 60-day IL when it's eligible again. And then that's 60 days from opening day. So the earliest he's going to pitch, that's to free up roster spots on the 40-man. So he's not going to pitch till at least May 26th, which, okay. But it just, I want to keep tabs on his progression, because right now all the news is great with him.
Yeah, this is high on the list.
Okay.
Because I just think this is a guy that, is at this time last year was the guy I was by far the most confident in the rotation. And the only thing that's changed is an injury. And, you look back at last year and I think everybody wants to go, man, if Cade didn't get hurt, what would the playoffs look like? What would the playoffs look like against the Brewers? I mean, have you ever seen Steele's numbers against them?
Yeah, right.
He's got this year and next year still with the Cubs. And, Yeah, I think he's a huge key to the season, and would just because you're looking at ways to how to get to 95 wins, right? 96 wins. All right, well, this is a great way. Adding a guy that was hurt, all of last year, back to the rotation. So I'm excited about that. That's in my top 5.
Coming up next, we go through the remaining 7 items of top storylines entering spring training, which starts this week. Stay tuned.
This episode is brought to you by FanDuel Winter Olympics. The Winter Games are officially here, and if you're anything like us, you're locking in for events you only get to see on the biggest stage every 4 years. And that's why following the Winter Games on FanDuel just makes sense. From medal counts to individual events to finding your angle on the sports you care about most, FanDuel gives you more ways to stay connected to the action. You could also pivot and use FanDuel to gamble on college basketball. Going into East Lansing, Michigan it's just a house of horrors for college basketball teams like Illinois. Not in the way that just you get beat, but the predictability of it, the officiating. That line moved suspiciously right before the game. It was the Illini by 1.5, and right before tip, it shifted to Sparty by 1.5, and they won that basketball contest in overtime. The Winter Games are on, and there's no better way to follow them with FanDuel. FanDuel, play your game.
Thank you for making Locked On your first listen of the day. And thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. If you haven't already, go check out our new Everydayer Club, which includes access to an ad-free audio feed for Locked On Cubs, compatible with Apple, Spotify, and every other major podcast app. Go to lockedoncubs.supercast.com or check the link in this episode description. Well, when I was a reporter, contest was one of my favorite alternatives to saying the word game, all the time. All right, number 7 on the top 10 storyline list. How about non-roster invitees who emerge?
Okay, so obviously I have a lot of love for you, and you worked extremely hard making this list. How is 7 and 8? You think non-roster invitees is a bigger story going in than Steele? Make the case. Make the case.
Yeah, because I'm not worried about. I think Steele's going to be ready to go. Whether it's June 1st, July 1st, he's going to be fine. He's not going to have any setbacks.
So timing. So because Steele's not going to be ready opening day, this is more opening day based. Is the case?
Yeah, it is.
Fair case. That's a fair case.
Yeah.
Who's the next Brad Keller?
For sure, and I have a name for you.
Hit me.
It's a 30-year-old right-hander, Corbin Martin, the ex-Oriole. Fastball up to 97, slider up to 92. I think he's the guy.
He's the next Brad Keller candidate. Who else highlights the non-roster invitees? Any position players that I could?
Yeah, I would say the Dylan Carlson versus Chas McCormick battle.
But don't they have minor league deals?
They do.
Okay.
Well, yeah, they're. Yeah, that's what that is. Minor league deal with an invite to spring training.
Yeah. So they're technically non-roster invitees.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sam, Dylan Carlson last year started 0 for 18 on the year.
Mm-hmm. That's not a good start.
Just a small note. I think the Cubs like that he's a switch hitter, and especially from the right side, they like that he could play center. But so could Chas McCormick, so could Kevin Alcantara. But so I think Corbin Martin on the pitcher side, Carlson would be my guy on the position side. And then you have other reliever candidates too, which is a good segue to the next one. There's Trent Thornton, Jeff Brigham.
Can I just do a quick?
Else?
Can I do a quick little PSA?
Yeah.
You had Wyatt on the show, right, last week?
Yes.
Nice guy.
The first of the Motley Crew on Mondays.
I don't want him to take this. I'm not trying to be rude at all.
Yeah.
This is just a PSA for me. Let's not make big conclusions over what we see with like Cubs taking batting practice.
It's too late. You're
I
too
know.
late.
I know
Yeah.
like spring training is open to everybody and it's awesome. Go do that, report stuff, whatever. Do what you want to do. I think it's awesome. But like where I draw the line is like, hey, Dylan Carlson might be the favorite because he had a good BP.
Because he had a good round of BP.
You know, or hey, Nico might have a power surge because he lifted a few. Folks, these are big leaguers, man. They're gonna take BP, and if you're not used to seeing what big league BP looks like, Nico's gonna hit. It's like
well, that happened 2 years ago. That's like a Groundhog Day thing. People said that about Nico 2 years ago.
You know what it reminds me of? Is when in the offseason going into like the NBA, they'd be like, hey, Ben Simmons, look at his jump shot. His jump shot's looking great. Folks, professional athletes they're going to make every shot in practice. And they're going to have really good, like that's why they are there. If I go to the gym and I knock down 15, 23s in a row, that's a cool thing. For these dudes, that's the expectation. It's a little different when the lights come on and they're seeing 101 two-seamers and whatnot.
That's why we'll wait for Feb 20 for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, just wanted to get that out there. Right. All love.
There's a lot of people doing that too.
Yeah, all love. Content's great, but content versus context.
Number 6. Okay, I'll write that down. Number 6, bullpen rebuild, Sam. This was a position group that had major turnover. And to address that, Jed Hoyer signed 5 relievers to major league deals. Right now, Palencia is the closer, we think. Colin Ray, the bulk guy. Maybe only one open spot when you look at the group. But combined with all the guys they signed, the non-roster guys, all the extra 40-man dudes like a Luke Little, Gavin Hollowell, Porter Hodge. This is where, the spring game started at 2:05. And, when I get home at 3:15, 3:30 and check the box score, I'm just going to check the pitchers for the most part.
I agree. Definitely a big storyline. Definitely, I really have no idea how that's going to shake out, So, but loosely confident after, But remember, last year, first series of the year, or in Arizona, there was meltdowns. There's meltdowns early, and then it turned into what it needed to. So.
Well, that's a good reminder, especially if one of the 5 guys they signed does have a poor spring. Like, what does that mean? We'll have to figure that out. All right, number 5 is rotation related. Do you want to guess what that is?
Horton.
Shota Imanaga bounce back. How does Shota look? They did a really weird musical chairs thing with the options and the qualifying offer, and he's back for $22 million. Unrestricted free agent now after the year. I do think from pitch number 1, it's going to be important to track like how he looks, don't you?
I do, because last year there were some signs in spring training that weren't good.
Oh, I don't remember that.
And he was throwing 88, 89 a lot. A lot. Did you see this stat, by the way, speaking of Shota, that the Cubs actually had a homer-friendly park last year for hitters?
No.
I don't,
Are you sure? Are we sure?
Yeah. Bleacher Nation, I was reading it. That, this is where stats to me just they're flawed, because even if that's the case, it's probably skewed from one game or couple games when the wind's howling out and there was, we had the 18 whatever. It's like Shota, a lot of these guys, when the wind was blowing in, took advantage of that, which is fine. I'm not going to sit here and buy that Wrigley was a good hitter's park last year. I watched every game.
Right, or did 1 month inflated, like July or something.
Right.
With the 8-homer game on the 4th and all that.
Exactly.
All right, we got 4 more storylines to go right after this. Today's episode is brought to you by Indeed. Hiring isn't just about finding someone willing to take the job. It's about finding the right person with the right background who could actually help your business move forward. And if you want candidates who match what you're looking for, Indeed sponsored jobs is the move. Because instead of hoping the right person stumbles across your post, Indeed helps you match with quality candidates by boosting your job listing to the people who fit your specific criteria, like skills, certifications, and location. That's what I like about Indeed. You get specific information and target exactly what you need. And with sponsored jobs, your post gets seen by candidates who are actually a real fit. And here's a stat that says it all. In the 1 minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed sponsored jobs. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job on the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions to apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed. Welcome back to Locked On Cubs, the #1 podcast on the Chicago Cubs. We give you everything a Cubs fan could want, all in a 30-minute daily podcast. Number 4 on the list, Moises Ballesteros progression this spring. Will he be the main DH? Will it be option to Des Moines?
Wow.
That would be the 2 extremes if you want to just put it on the table. But I'm leaning more towards the former right now. I think there's a very good chance he's in the order. And
Well, I would go.
I think, I mean, he's not going to be every day, but platoon-ish.
I would go as far as to say that the former is not an extreme, but the expectation when a righty's on the mound. I think it'd be a disappointment for Moises Ballesteros if there's a righty starting on opening day at Wrigley Field and he's not in the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, he had a really bad spring, right?
Yeah, that'd be a disappointment. If Tyler Austin's your opening day DH versus a righty, that's a disappointment. So I'm expecting him, and I don't think he'll do anything in spring training, albeit making sure he stays healthy. But I don't think he'll do anything to lose that opportunity unless he were to get hurt.
And don't you think he'll be a guy that gets he's like one of the leaders in plate appearances this spring?
He'll
do more full games than like a Hap or something.
I can't answer that. Well, yeah, than a Hap for sure. But my spring training knowledge, I have it written down here next to me. I have this basically like this text edit page where I just take not show notes, but reminders. Mm-hmm. And one of my big reminders that I have in bold is leave spring training alone. Meaning just unless it's extreme, it's just I think I've made the mistake. Do you know, Matt, that this July will be our 4th year, but because of how baseball works, we're embarking on our 5th season.
I know it's been quite a
really I don't want to say we've been doing this for 4 years. I'd like to say we've been doing it for 5 seasons.
That's up to you.
That sounds better.
Yeah, we're entering our 5th season, right?
Yeah. Because baseball, the timing with that, sometimes it messes with my mind. But
that's a lot of games, man.
Yeah, we're entering our 5th campaign, and I believe in the previous 4, I've made spring training mistakes, and this year it ain't happening.
All right, so you're showing perhaps some growth on your end. Yeah, that's over 800 games from us, probably close to 1,000 if you include spring training.
Which I won't be doing.
Number 3, Edward Cabrera's development, one of the big fish that the Cubs acquired this offseason. Where's he going to slot in the rotation? I'm not too convicted about that. I just want to see him healthy and effective, and what type of ascension is he going to have now with the Cubs brass?
Yeah, not much on this from me. He would not be in my top 3. Just want to see him healthy, throwing the ball hard. That's really all I'm looking for from him this spring.
So you think Horton would be in your top 10?
Maybe.
Let's
see what you got.
Let's see what you got. The year.
Let's see what you got 2-1.
Number 2, I have super utility man Matt Shaw. What type of spring does he have? Is he really going to end up in right field?
Yeah.
Can he play center? Can he play left? Is he ever going to play third? Is he the DH against lefties? Something to watch for sure.
This is beautifully done. I'm going to wait. I'm going to cheat and wait to see what your number 1 is before I tell you what mine is, because you've put a lot of thought into it. But this is that Matt Shaw in general, the trade rumors, the
the trade rumors.
How does he look offensively? Like that's one.
That's important.
Did he make any mechanical changes? You know what I mean? He's a guy that, as I contradict myself, but like he's a guy, if he were to have a 1 for 35 spring, that's different than if, Bregman does.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the spring, I think we're able to make conclusions, but I think in and out of games, your approach is going to work well.
Right.
All right, number 1, top storyline. One of the biggest moves the Cubs have made in years. Yeah. What is the imprint on this team from Alex Bregman?
Mm-hmm.
Does this take an effect right away? Has it already? He's already there. Does the WBC impact that? Does he show up at Sloan on the mornings of the WBC and still come through? Actually, that's not possible because the WBC is in Houston initially, so that'd be really impressive. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think he's got to be up there, just like Tucker was, just in terms of just an attraction too, Yeah. People are going to the game. I'm going to actually do something I've never done on here, which is I've had a bunch of people out in Arizona ask me, someone's going to have to help me get tickets for a certain game in the spring. But I won't be there. It's for somebody else. But the attraction, people want to see Bregman, right? People want to go, hey, I want to watch Alex Bregman play third base. Even though the games don't matter, it's still something you want to see. Here's the only thing I'd change on the list. I mean, there's some order stuff.
Yeah.
I'll add one more.
Okay.
Is there any buzz? Is there any pop from one of these young prospects? Because the Cubs farm system right now is not in a great place.
Oh, there wasn't to your mic 10 seconds ago. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Is there any sort of guys popping off the page, or Ethan Conrad, Rojas? Is there somebody that you say, hey, I feel a lot better about this guy? Because right now, Major League Baseball views the Cubs farm system as quite weak.
Yeah, it's 22nd according to Baseball America's new rankings last week.
So can they, can they
good
show?
Point. Good
can
point.
They show? Maybe,
right.
Is there anybody that shows they're a little bit deeper, than suspected?
And does Wiggins look Major League ready?
Wiggins, I think, should probably be on there too.
Right? Why you don't wait? You're not going to wait till September if he's ready in May, like Horton was.
Yeah, sub Wiggins in for Cabrera.
Okay. All right. Good show today. We got a lot more ahead as we transition from off-season mode to spring training mode. Sam, it's an exciting time with our favorite team.
Absolutely. I can't believe it's almost time.
Thank you for making Locked On your first listen of the day. For those of you on video, we're about to send you to the 24/7 National Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel, and on audio, make sure your second listen is Locked On MLB. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.